in this village, San Marcos, 15 years. And then came this word, basura, trash.
Probably like a lot of visionary types, Susanna was also regarded as a little bit crazy. First of all, she just looks like this wild person.
Everybody was like, oh, Susanna, you are crazy. You are totally crazy. What? You want to build with this? And then in October 5th, we had first big hurricane here. And this is the Hurricane Stan. And 25 houses was just wiped out.
And then there was suddenly this huge need for rebuilding. And there were those plastic bottles filled with those little papers that the children had been stuffing and stuffing and stuffing.
Plastic bottles stuffed with trash. It's an unlikely building material.
It is trash and it is a container for trash.
But when a hurricane decimated a tiny lake community in Guatemala, victims desperate to rebuild immediately saw its value.
The UN came and it was like, oh, we can't believe it. Do you need help?
That was in 2005. And today you can find the so-called eco-brick on almost every continent.
Projects are growing in El Salvador, Guyana. I've heard of a similar type building in Thailand.
It's all because of Susanna Heise, the creative force behind this deceptively simple innovation. A former political prisoner turned fashion designer.
If she weren't doing trash, she would be Jean-Paul Gaultier.
She's unconventional by almost any standard. But today, her unorthodox use of trash is improving the lives of thousands around the globe. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, and this is The Next List.
This is an eco brick. This is the container, and this is where you stuff all the wrappers, all the plastic bags, everything what is synthetic and inorganic trash. You just put the lid on top, and then you have an eco brick ready for construction. I'm Susanna Heise. I'm the founder of the Pura Vida movement. We're here in Lake Atitlan, and this is in Guatemala in Central America, and this is called the most beautiful lake on earth.
Picture a vast blue body of water surrounded by 3 towering volcanoes.
There's three different Mayan groups around the lake. They all speak different languages. A lot of the main cultural elements are still maintained. Every town around the lake has its own unique feel.
In the 60s, this new material, plastic, came. That was totally new for them. Plastic is not a bad material. It helped them a lot. But nobody told them, like, look, this is not a leaf. This is not going to decompose. This is going to stay here for 20, 30, 50, 100, 500 years.
The trash problem is affecting these communities in several ways. Tourism's a big issue. Cyanobacteria blows up in the lake. Tourists are no longer allowed to swim, and that region is very much dependent on tourism. And then you talk about drainage problems. These bags and wrappers and bottles get caught up in the drainage system. The water's not allowed to drain the way it's supposed to.
Es el que se va hacia abajo y contamina el suelo.
So there are 2 things happening. One is that the rain takes all the trash and floods all the trash down to the lake, which is like only little steps below us. And the other thing is that all the bad liquids, they all go down to the ground, and they are contaminating the whole entire soil above, and also the water which is beneath.
Sinceramente, San Marcos había tenido problemas con la basura, basuras por todos lados. Sin embargo, se aprovechó la basura para formar los ecoladrillos.
The specific idea of Pura Vida is to have everybody recycling and have a consciousness for cleanness.
This is the Pura Vida, famous Pura Vida wall, built out of 1,000 eco bricks. And these eco bricks have been staffed from little children, kindergarten children.
It is trash and it is a container for trash. And when it's filled with trash, it has sufficient integrity to be a building block.
And you use those as a basic building material, and you also are able to clean up the community and teach about environmental education, the importance of maintaining a clean environment around you, trash management, all that kind of good stuff.
This is the chicken wire, and it's stuffed with the bottles, and we're leaving that spot out so people can see directly, oh, this is eco bricks, this is made out of plastic trash. And San Marcos is famous for that now.
What Susanna has showed us today, it does make me feel like, why didn't I think of that ages ago?
The simplicity of Susanna's eco-brick is also part of its genius. Cheap, easy to make, environmentally friendly. It's a common sense solution for almost any community. And with the help of the Peace Corps, as well as charities like Hug It Forward, the word is spreading.
What Susanna has showed us today, it does make me feel like, why didn't I think of that ages ago?
We are building a 2-classroom school in community Pachay. This school serves about 200 kids.
The ultimate goal with the bottle schools is not to eliminate trash just by building these schools. It would be impossible. There's too much trash. The ultimate goal is raising awareness about the environment, about the importance of managing trash. The original idea was using just a basic post and beam structure with wood. One difference that Hug It Forward has adopted is using founded cement with rebar.
Hug It Forward is a 501c registered nonprofit based in the United States. And what we do is we empower communities to build bottle schools.
We've been invited here by Hug It Forward because we have a real issue with plastic bottles in the Himalayas, and it's a new pollution problem for us. Extremely damaging problem because the cows are eating the plastic and dying from it, which is losing our only source of quality protein for the children.
As you can see, it takes about 6,000 bottles to finish a whole construction, and this is the last square that we're making right now, and we're tying all the bottles. All the bottles have to be the same height. The construction technique is a little different from Pura Vida. What we're doing right here is that we're using a metal frame instead of wood. Also, we are using pins. I don't know if you can see them here. These are metal pins that are attached to the columns. And then when you put the metal frame, you just bend this over here, and so it makes it really tight.
They're really strong in, huh?
This is a very safe construction. We actually comply with different rules internationally, and we have the support of different engineers and architects in Guatemala.
We've only been here 4 days so far, but we've already built a couple of the bottle walls that you see behind us. One of the great things is the partner that's here with me is a locally trained builder from Ladakh in the Himalayas, and we talk about what will work in the Himalayas and how we can change things. For instance, in Guatemala, the climate is totally different. We're a high altitude desert, above 3,500 meters. So we have very cold winters, and we're working with the technology people from Hug It Forward to make sure that we can use this as insulation and that our kids stay warm in our schools.
That's why it's very important taking the tradition you have, you know, and combine that with new ideas. I was totally impressed to meet up with the people from India, because they have a completely different conditions. So it's very important to develop the constructing system with bottles in every place differently.
People are really catching on to the idea. Projects are growing in El Salvador, Guyana, I've heard of a similar type building in Thailand.
It makes me so glad that the idea of the eco-rio is spreading from Lake Atitlan towards all Guatemala, towards the whole world, that everybody pitches in with new ideas to make it better, to transform it, to adapt it to their situations, that we are part of the solution and not the part of the problem anymore.
Susanna was in prison in East Germany, and I believe Susanna was tortured. Susanna grew up in a religious household, and I think at the core of Susanna's being is an enduring belief that what matters in life is to give back.
She describes herself as an artist, and she's very much of that personality. But she had a calling from God to manage trash issues, and she's followed it with a passion.
It all started actually that as a child, we was playing cowboy and Indians, and I'm always wanted to be an Indian, and I wanted to help the indigenous. I wanted to help the Indians, but I didn't even know that Central America exists because I was born in East Germany, behind the Iron Curtain, behind the big wall. I was born the day the Berlin Wall arose. And the wall was in between my destiny and me. And it was a bit more traumatic to leave East Germany. I was trying to escape. I was very lucky because I was not shot on the wall like so many. I was just taken into jail.
Susanna was in prison in East Germany, and I believe Susanna was tortured.
And so I was 1 year in jail. And after 1 year, the government of West Germany, they traded prisoners, political prisoners, and so I got traded out. And I came to West Germany. After 1 year jail, if you are only 19 years old, that makes you not very comfortable, you know, you're very shaky, say. And then you come to a whole new world, and I experienced that this is a bit rougher world also, you know. So what I did was I hitchhiked to Italy, where I always wanted to be, to Italy, and I was ending up on a little island called Volcano, and I found a cave, and I was really like my other hero, Robinson Crusoe, living in a cave. And I was making sure I can live by myself. I don't need a society. I live with nature. After 1 year, I was ready to go back to the society. I was strong enough with my self-esteem, with all my beliefs, and I went right into the society to become a fashion designer. And I did that whole climbing up the ladder, and I would create outfits where like nobody in West Germany has ever seen things like this. But then the further I came in that fashion business, I realized that this is all superficial. This is not what I really want. And I think destiny also is kind of like, Susanna, this is not where we want you. And that was where I put first time my feet into another continent, which is this continent. When I came to Lake Atitlan, I was on the shore of this lake. I was facing the volcanoes, and I was like, what can I do to deserve to live here? That was like so important for me. And then came this word, basura, trash. And all of a sudden I was like realizing that is the truth. I mean, the beauty of this land and the beauty of the lake is endangered. We need a good solution. And who am I Susanna, little Susanna, fighting these mountains of trash. And then I saw an old man on his porch sitting and stuffing plastic trash into a bottle. And I was like, oh, this is it. This is the solution. And then that was only a step away of what are we going to do with all these bottles? Sooner or later we're going to have thousands. And then it was like very clear we take that to construct.
San Marcos is a rare example of a place that's cleaner now than it was 15 years ago. And the reason is Susanna.
Before we was always against the stream. Now I'm kind of confused because I'm not against any stream. I'm with the whole stream, you know, and that is also a good sign.
I think it all came together for her when she recognized that nothing else could survive. Not the ancient traditions, not the next generation of children, their ability to get educated. They didn't have food in their bellies, and a town that was clean enough that the people would come who would give the jobs.
Well, their physical, environmental, and mental health, that's all related.
Susanna educates people in the making of these bricks, but really it's a much bigger education because she's also talking about nutrition, for instance, about what are we doing with spending our money on little packets of chips. What are you feeding your children?
El mayor reto que tienen los niños en las escuelas es que los niños realmente no mantienen un nivel nutritivo adecuado.
Muy buenos días a todas y todos. I'm very, very glad, like from the bottom of my heart actually, that we working together with the government to design a new manual talking about the issues of trash management, of nutrition, of hygiene, and that this is going to be a foundational manual to teach in 450 schools.
El trabajo de Susana para nosotros es excelente. Nos hemos unido con Susana y nos hemos unido con otras organizaciones para que los niños de todos del departamento de Sololá tengan realmente una vida segura, una vida saludable.
Llena la botella y construye con ella. Pura vida.
Susanna's work has been very contagious. She's been able to influence a lot of people to do a lot of different things in environmental education, environmental construction, and in the protection of these indigenous communities.
We've seen the town change in a lot of ways, of people being more conscious about what they do about their trash and how to deposit it and where it goes afterwards.
Por supuesto, nuestra finalidad no solamente es el pueblo sano, sino que apoyar la limpieza del lago de Atitlan, que es nuestro lago más bello del mundo. Y esto es un mensaje para todos a nivel nacional, internacional.
I would never presume to say what Susanna's ultimate goal would be. Susanna is the only one who can say that one. But I think Susanna is going to, with her last breaths, be working to preserve that lake and that culture.
People here are laughing. The Mayas are laughing. They have a smile. They are gentle, you know. And if you're living by yourself, you need that smile. You need this embracing, like this. This makes me feel family, part of them. My life has been through a lot of hard situations, but I'm very glad that I'm now on this mission and that I'm 100% sure that this is my path and my destiny. the future of Pura Vida gone from my hand to their hand to the next hand to the next hand, and it's go. It's on its way, and nobody can control it, and I think and nobody can stop it.
Faced with the mountains of trash choking her lake, Susanna Heise didn't just clean it up. She put that trash to use. And in giving the world the eco-brick, she's empowered people all over the globe to build cleaner, healthier lives. And that's what earns her a spot on the next list. For more on this episode and other agents of change, please go to cnn.com/thenextlist and join me on my live stream at cnn.com/Sanjay. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta. We'll see you back here next Sunday.